Hello guys, welcome to the Java 0 to Infinity course in which we are going to master the Java the right way. So this is going to be the second video of this series. So what is our today's agenda? So in today's video, we will start our discussion with the what is JVM, what is JRE and what is JDK and what is the difference between them. Then we will understand how we can install the JDK the right way, and then we will see what is the environment variable and what are the environment variable that we need to set up in order to successful installing the JDK and setting up the Java environment. Then we will learn about what is path variable and what is significance of it. Then finally we will write our first Java program and dissecting it, like how it internally work. Then we will install the one IDE for our Java project, Java program, that is IntelliJ IDEA. Then we will understand the folder structure of this IDE, IntelliJ IDEA. So this is going to be the today's agenda of our video. So let's start our discussion with JDK, JRE and JVM. So before starting this, let's understand what we have learned in the last video. So as in the previous video, I have already explained that how Java program is actually executed. So let's quickly revise it. So basically we write our Java program in the .java file, which is human readable, but our computer can only understand the zeros and one. So every programming languages must be finally converted into zeros and one in order to execute it. So in Java it is done in the two steps. So in the first step, this .java file that we write is first converted into the .class file bytecode with the help of the compiler, and then this is an intermediate form. This is not the machine code. This is not the machine code like zeros and one. This is the intermediate form, and it is also known as bytecode. Now the JVM take this .class file. Now JVM take this .class file and interpret it line by line and execute it and convert it into the machine code and then execute it line by line. So for more detail, you can watch my previous video in which I explained the in-depth working of the Java program. So you can watch it from there. Now let's see. So let's come into our today's agenda. In today's video, we are going to learn what is JDK, JVM and JRE. So let's start with the JVM. What is JVM? So JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. It is the core execution engine of Java. So what is JVM? JVM stands for the Java Virtual Machine. It is the core execution engine of Java. Like, it is responsible for converting our bytecode into the machine specific instruction. So basically here it is our bytecode. So here it is our bytecode. It is not in the machine instruction. So it is the work of the JVM. It is the work of the JVM that take this .class file and convert it into the zeros and one, that is specific machine instruction. So it is the role of the JVM. So what is JVM? JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. It is the core execution engine of Java. It is responsible for converting our bytecode into the machine specific instruction. So it is our bytecode, and the JVM will convert this bytecode into the machine specific instruction, that is zeros and one, so that the computer can finally execute it. So JVM is the core execution engine of the Java. So here you can see that here it is JVM. So as you can see that the JVM is the part of both JRE and JDK. So basically the JVM is here it is JVM, and then it is a sub JRE, and then it is JDK. So we can say that the JVM is a subset of the JRE as well as JDK. So the JVM is the part of both JDK and JRE. As you can see from here, JVM is a part of both JRE as well as JDK. Now it is the JVM that perform the actual execution of the Java program. So it perform the memory management and the garbage collection. Don't worry about these terms. We will understand this in detail when we learn about the JVM architecture in the next video. Now it is the JVM that provides the portability by executing the same bytecode and different platform. Like this same bytecode can be executed in different platforms like Mac OS, Windows and Linux. So it is the JVM that provide this portability, that the same class file can be executed on different platform. So it is JVM that provide the portability by executing the same bytecode and platform on different platform. So we understand that okay, JVM take this class file and convert into the machine specific instruction. Then what is JRE? So JVM plus libraries set is known as JRE. JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. So what is JRE? JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. So what it does, it provides an environment to run the Java program. So what is the role of the JRE? So JRE provide an environment to run the Java programs. Now it is intended for the end user who only need to execute the applications. For example, so JRE is intended for the end users who only need to execute the application. Like JRE is only needed to execute the application and not needed to develop it. Now it contains the JVM and the standard class libraries. So what is JRE? JRE is JVM plus standard library set is known as JRE. JRE stands for the Java Runtime Environment. It provides a runtime environment for executing the Java application, and it is only intended for the end user who only need to execute the applications. For example, here is developer. Our developer has written the code and compiled into the .class file. Then if we want to execute this .class file, then we only need the JRE. Now JRE provides the all runtime requirement for the Java applications. Now JRE is only for running the application, not for developing them. For example, in order to develop this, the .java file need to be compiled into the .class file. So we need a compiler. So JRE does not provide the compiler. It is only intended for running the application. Like JRE can only run the .class file and cannot used for the developing them. It means that the JRE does not provide the development tools like compiler or debugger for compiling the application or for debugging. So JRE is only intended for running the application and it is not intended for developing it. Like for the development of the application, we need a compiler and the debugger, but the JRE does not provide the compiler or debugger. It is only intended for the end user who want to execute the applications. So what are the examples of the library set that the JRE provides? So some of the standard library like string, system or math, all these libraries are the part of the JRE. So what is library? So library is like a pre-written code or pre-written code that we can directly use in our program, so that we don't need to write it from the scratch. For example, if we want to find the maximum of the three number, the one approach is like we itself write the whole logic from the scratch, or we can use the system libraries like .math.max library to find the maximum of the three numbers. So what is library? Library is nothing. It is a pre-written code that we can directly execute in our program. It makes the development easier and faster. And second example, like java.util package that provides the utilities like array, list, hash map, date. Don't worry if you don't understand all this, we will cover it in great detail in the later videos. So what is meant by the JRE? So JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. It provides the environment for running the Java application. It does not provide the development environment. It only provides the runtime environment. That's why it's named Java Runtime Environment. And the JRE does not include the development tools. It only support running the Java application. Like if we have .class file, then JRE can only run it. And it does not support compilation and debugging. But so who provide the development tools? So it is the JDK that provide the development tools. So let's see about the JDK. So what is meant by the JDK? So JDK stands for Java Development Kit. It is a software development kit which is used to build and run the Java application. So it is a JDK that can be used to both build and run the Java applications. So JDK is required by the developer to write, compile and debug the Java code. So what is the component of JDK? So the JDK component of JDK is JRE. It provides the runtime environment so that the Java code can easily run, and plus development tool that can be used to develop the Java programs. So what include the development tools like Java compiler, Java debugger and etc., like Java doc, etc. It all provide the development tools. So what is JDK? So JDK is, we can basically say JDK is nothing but it is a JRE plus development tool. So development tool help us to develop the Java program, and JRE provide the environment for running the Java application. So this Java C is the part of the development tool that we use to convert our Java application to the bytecode, and then once it is converted into the bytecode, then it is the role of the JRE to provide the runtime environment to execute this class file. And what does this JRE include? This JRE includes the JVM, Java virtual machine, which convert the bytecode instruction into the machine code, and this JRE includes the library set. For example, if in our code we used any library set, so this JRE provides this library set. So this JDK is equal to JRE plus development tool. JRE provide the runtime environment and development tool provide the development environment. So the JDK is the Java development kit which is used to build, debug and run the Java applications. So now we need to understand, like, okay, the JDK is needed. So if we need to develop the application, we need JDK. But if we only need to run the Java application, we only need the JRE, Java runtime environment. So let's see about, are JVM, JRE or JDK platform dependent or platform independent? So first let's start with the JVM. So let's first start with the JVM. Is JVM is the platform dependent or platform independent? So JVM is platform dependent, like it is different. JVM is different for different platform. Like for Mac OS, this JVM will be different, for Windows it will be different, and for Linux it will be different. Why? Because JVM interact with the OS and the hardware, because it is the role of the JVM that convert our bytecode into the machine specific instruction. So the machine specific instruction mean that hardware specific instruction and hardware and OS specific instruction. So for example, for the printing on the console, there will be different instruction for the Windows operating system and for the Linux operating system. So the same printing statement, so this in the bytecode, this is the printing statement. So it is the role of the JVM. So if the JVM is on the Windows, it will convert the machine specific instruction for the Windows, and if the JVM is on Linux, then it will convert the same print statement corresponding to the Linux. And so that's why the JVM is the platform dependent, because it interact with the OS and the hardware. So therefore the JVM is the platform dependent, that is, it is different for the Windows, different for the Mac OS, different for the Linux. So what about JRE? Since as we know that JRE is JVM plus library set, since JVM is the platform dependent, that means that the JRE is also the platform independent. Since JRE contains the JVM, so JRE is also the platform dependent. Now what about the JDK? Since JDK include the JRE plus development tools, since JRE is a platform dependent, that means that the JDK is also platform dependent. Since JDK contains the JRE, therefore JDK is also platform dependent. So we can see that the JDK is the platform dependent, JVM is the platform dependent, and JRE is the platform dependent. So what is the platform independent? So only the bytecode, only Java bytecode, it is the platform independent. It means that the same Java bytecode can be executed on the different machines. Why? Because it is the JVM that take care of this. It convert the same bytecode into the different machine, into the machine specific instruction depending on the different OS. For the Windows, it will convert on the Windows specific instruction. For the Linux, it convert on the Linux specific instruction. For the Mac OS, it convert on the Mac specific instruction. So it is the JVM that is different for the different OS. For Windows, there will be different JVM. For Linux, there will be different JVM, and for Mac OS, there will be different JVM. So this dot class file is converted into the machine specific instruction by the JVM, different JVM. So we can say that JVM is the platform dependent, but only the bytecode is the platform independent. So we can see from here that we write our Java code in the .java file. So in order to compile and run it, we need the JDK. If we download the JDK itself includes the JRE as well as development tool. So we need to install the JDK in order to run our Java program. So let's see how we can install the JDK and set up the Java environment for running our Java programs. Let's see how we can download the JDK. As in order to convert our .java file into the .class file, we need a compiler that is known as JavaC compiler. So this JavaC compiler is included in the JDK, and then in order to run this .class file, we need the JRE, that is Java runtime environment. So the JDK contains both development tool like JavaC compiler as well as JRE runtime environment in order to run this our .class file. So we need to download the JDK in order to set up our Java applications. So it can be installed in the JDK can be installed in 3 steps. So first we need to download the JDK, that is Java Development Kit. So we can download it from our Oracle website. So simply go to your and simply here type download Java and go to this Oracle website. Download it from the Oracle website like this, and from here there are different versions of the JDK. So we will go with the JDK 21 because it is best for the learning purpose, and then according to your operating system, choose your operating system and download it. So for the Windows, we will be downloading this x64 installer. So as you can see, it start downloading. So let waits for the download to be completed. So now you can say that the download has been completed. So simply go to the place and double click on it. It's started the installer. Simply click on next, and it will ask where it will install the Java. So as you can see, it will install the Java in C program file Java JDK. So simply click next, and it will start installing it in our computer. As you can see that the Java installation has completed. Now we have successfully installed our JDK. So our second step is done. Now after installing the JDK, we need to set some environment variables. So before setting the environment variables, we first see why there is need of setting the environment variable and what is an environment variable. So basically environment variable is nothing. It is a variable that stores some of the important information. So basically we need to set the 2 environment variables. First one is the path and second one is the Java one. So before setting the environment variable, first see why there is need of setting the environment variables like this. So basically our JDK is installed, and with the JDK all the development tool like JavaC compiler is also installed. So basically open command prompt and type here javac -version. So but as we have installed the JDK, but the javac is saying it's not recognizing internal external. Why this is the error? Because by default our computer try to find this command or this program in our current working directory, but in our current working directory there is not any file named javac. To see all the files that are present in current working directory, simply type dir and press enter. As you can see from here, there are not any file that are named javac. That's why it's saying that javac is not recognized as internal or external command. Why? Because in the current working directory there is not any program that is named javac. So in order to run this program, first we need to go to the install location of JDK, and from the folder that contain this program we need to run this program. So simply open your file explorer and go to the path where the JDK is installed. So it is basically C program files JDK, and here in the bin folder you can see, scroll down and you can see that it is the path where it is installed. So basically copy this path and simply go to this path, and from here run the javac dash version. Now you can see that it get executed. Why? Because the computer by default tried to find this program in the current working directory, this, and this time this javac folder is present in the current working directory, and that's why it get executed. You can also verify it from dir, and from here you can see that the javac is present here. That's why when we write javac dash version, it get executed and not showing us error. But if we run it from somewhere else, let's say we run it from here and we type javac dash version, then it will show us error, because it tried to find the javac in our current working directory, but it does not find the javac. That's why it's showing us error. But if we run it from this working directory and if we type javac dash version, it get executed. So are you guessing, are you noticing some important problem? Like every time we need to compile any program, first we need to come to this path and then execute this program. So the environment variable are introduced in order to solve this problem. So when we set the path variable, so what does the path variable contain? So path variable basically contain this list of folders. So basically the path environment variable contain the list of folder where system can found the program. So basically when we set the path variable and when we type the javac dash version, so first computer will try to find the javac program in the current working directory. But if it doesn't found it in the current working directory, then it will search in the path folder specified in the path variable, and then if it found it there, then directly execute it. That's why we need to set the path variable. So how you can set the path variable? So basically open your here and type environment variable. Click here and click on the environment variables and click on the path, and basically click on the new and copy this path and basically paste here and OK. Now whenever we type any program, the system will first try to find that program in the current working directory, but if it doesn't found there, then it will search in this folder from the top to bottom. So if we type the javac, now first it will find in our current working directory. If it found there, it will directly get executed. But if it doesn't found, then it will first search in this folder. If it found here, directly executed. Then if not, then search in this directory and the first match found will get executed. So we have added our installed location of Java and javac in our path variable. So simply set it, and in order for the path variable to get updated, first close your terminal and launch the terminal again and type here java dash version, and now when we type here, we can see that it is getting printed. Why? Because now the system tried to find the javac currently in our current working directory, but it does not find the javac in current working directory. Then it will search for this program in the folder specified in the path variable, and then basically it found it in this folder, so it directly get executed. In order to see the path variable, simply type echo, and for printing any variable, use the percentage and path percentage. So it will print the path variable. So you can see from here these are the list of the folders that are stored in the path variable in the ascending order, and here you can see that our Java folder is present here. So that's why we need to set the path variable, because the system can find the installed program and we don't need to go to again and again that particular directory and install the program and run the program from that path. That's why we need to set the path variable. And why we need to set the Java, and the second variable that we need to set is the Java home. So why we need to set the Java home environment variable? Because many tools use the Java home to find the Java installed location, like IntelliJ IDEA, Maven, Gradle, or Tomcat. Like it is a different frameworks or the tools that are used in the Java development, that and it used this environment variable to find where this program is, where Java is installed. So basically we need to add one new variable Java home and specify its location to this where the JDK is installed. So JDK is installed here. Simply copy this and add the new system variable. Type on environment variable and simply copy an environment variable, and here type new and type Java underscore home and specify the location and simply click OK, and then simply click OK and OK. Now if open your terminal and simply type echo %java underscore home this. Now you can see that the Java home environment variable gets set, and the now different tools can use this location to find where the Java is installed in our computer. So this completed our installation process of the Java. Now let's see how we can write our first Java program and compile it and see it's how the program is executed in Java. Hello, so now we have successfully installed and set up our JDK. Now we'll start writing our first Java program. So it will be a simple Java program that will print a hello coders file on the console. So this is going to be our first Java program. So what it will do, it will simply print the hello coders file on our console. What it will do, it will simply print hello coders file on our console. So before writing it, let's understand it deeply step by step. So let's start with the very basics. So first let's start with line by line. Line number 1. So as we know, so first understand what is public class main. So as we know, Java is the fully object oriented programming. As we all know, the Java is fully object oriented program. It means that every Java program must be written inside a class. So this is that class. So what we have done initially, so we have defined the class. We defined in Java, we define the class with the class keyword and then with the class name. So this is the name of the class. Name of the class. So what is class? We can, for now you can understand the class as a container that hold our Java program, and every Java program must be written inside a class because Java is a fully object oriented programming. So we define the class with the help of the class keyword and then the class name. So class main, so this main is the name of the class and this class is used to define the class. Then what does this public means here? The public, like the public keyword here means that it is like a public property, just like a public property that can be accessed by anyone. So this class is a public class. It means that it can be accessed by any other Java program. We will understand it deeply later in the course. Just now focus on the keyword and what does it mean. So what does public mean? So public is like a keyword access modifier, just like a public property can be accessed by anyone. So that this public means that this class main can be accessed by any other Java program, or it can be accessed by the JVM, we can say that. So this clears your doubt. So it clears the first line, what is meant by the public class main. So I hope you understand what is meant by the public means that this main class can be accessed by anyone including the JVM. This class is used for defining the class and this is the name of the class. So one important key point in the Java program is that this class name, the file name should be equal to that of the file name. File name must match the class name. So here our class name is main, so that our file name should also be the main.java. So our file name should also be the main.java. It should match with our class name. Now let's come to the next line here, the main, public static void main string argument. So this is the entry point of any Java program. So it is the entry point of any Java program. So it is, so what is the, so this main is the entry point of the Java program. Just like you, if you are familiar with the C++ or C programming, just like an int main, here this main is the entry point of the Java program. So it is a main method. And what is this void mean? This void means that the return type of the function, that is the function does not return anything. We will understand, if you are not currently getting it, don't worry, we will understand each part in detail later in this course. So just remember that this void means that the return type of the main function. It means that this function main does not return anything. So this is the main function, it is the entry point of the program, and it is its return type. And now what does this static mean? This static means that we don't need to create the object of this main class in order to access this function. So what does static mean? Static means that this method can be called without creating the object of this class. Since Java is a fully object oriented programming, in order to execute any method, the object must be created. But if we define the static, it means that we don't need to create the object of that class in order to call this method. I am repeating, emphasizing that if you are not getting this, just remember the keyword and how it is used. We will see how it works later in this course. So this static means that we don't need to create the object in order to call this method. And what does this public mean? As I have earlier defined, what does this public mean? Similarly, this public means that this main method can be called from anywhere. Just like a public property can be accessed by anyone, this public method can be called from anywhere in the program. So public means, static means this method can be called without creating the object of this main class. Void is the return type of the main, and this is the method name of the method. And I emphasize that this method name must be same. This is the entry point of the program. Now what is the string args? So it is used to pass the command line argument into the program. For example, so what is the string argument? So it is used to pass the command line argument into the program. For example, if we type like Java main, and here if we pass any argument like Java main Shubham, then this argument will be passed into this argument. So it is there, this part. So this is used to pass the command line argument into the program. Now I hope you understand this line also. Now let's move to the next line. So now let's move to the next line, System.out.println hello coders file. So first, this system is the Java class, Java inbuilt class. This is Java inbuilt class that is used to perform that contain a lot of pre-written code. So this is a system class, and it is the output stream. That is, it out means that we want to print something to the console. So this out means we want to print something to the console, and println means print this into the, and then print it with the help with new line. So what does this do? It will print the hello coders file on the console and then end it with the new line character, that is in the new line. So this is the complete program. So again I am repeating, what does this program mean? So Java, again system is a Java class that is that provide a lot of inbuilt classes, pre-written code that we can directly use in our program. This out means that we want to print some output stream to the console, and this println means we want to print something on the console with a new line, and this will print the coders file on our console. So this is the whole dissection of our program. So let's write it in the notepad. So in order to write our program, so first come to the desktop, and here create a new folder. Let's name it Java. You can name this folder anything. I am just creating it in order to organize the files so that you can save, and open the notepad and simply start writing the program. So I have already explained, every program in the Java must be inside the class. So I have created the class main, and so I have created the class with the help of the class keyword and defined the name of the class main. And in order for the JVM to run, the one class in the file must be of the type public, so that the JVM can access it. So that I have written public. Now I have to write the entry point of the program, that is main method. So first I will write public. It means that this method can be accessed from anywhere in the program. Then I will write static. It means that the static keyword means that we don't need to create the object in order to execute this method. Then void is the return type of the method, and then main. This is the entry point of the program, and in this we have to string argf. So it is arg arguments is used to pass the command line argument to the program. We can name anything here, but it is standard practice to write args. You can also write here a, b, c, or ram, or anything like that, but it is standard practice to write args. But this name of the method must be the main in order to run it, and all the keyword must be same. You can only change this or change this name of the class or the name of this argument. Now in order to print anything on the console, we need to use the system class. Don't worry if you don't getting it, I will explain everything detail in later in this course. System.out.println, that will print it in the new line, and then hello orders file. Now our program is successfully written. Now save it in our Java folder, where in the desktop Java, and name it main.java. The file name must be same to that of the class name. So here you can see that it is main, the name of the class is the main, that's why the file name should also be the main.java. If you save it with any other name like a.java or any other name, it will not compile. And now save it. Now our program is, now as you can see here, our program is saved. Now as I have already told you, now this the main.java that we have created currently. So this main.java is the source code. It is a human readable. Now as I have already explained you, this main.java file must be compiled into the bytecode. So, and it is the intermediate step in which we compile our source file into the bytecode, also bytecode with the help of the javac compiler. So what is the command in order to compile the file? So we use the javac and the name of our file. So it will compile our source code into the bytecode, and this is the intermediate form. And then so let's compile it. So in order to compile it, first open the CMD here. So basically in order to command prompt here, you can directly click on this path and type CMD. So it will open the command prompt in this current working directory. So in order to compile it, simply type java c main.java. So what it will do, it will compile this main.java file and produce the main.class file. As you can see from here, our main.java file, that is our source code, is compiled into bytecode. If you try to open it, it will show some random values. Why? Because it is compiled into the bytecode. It is an intermediate step, and we cannot, it is a bytecode. Main.class file is a bytecode. And now the first step is done. We have compiled our program into the bytecode. Now this bytecode is given to the JVM in order to run it. So in order to run it, we need to use the Java and the name of the class file. So just simply come here and in the terminal type Java and name of our bytecode and simply press enter. So as you can see here, our code get executed. So what internally it does, it start the JVM and load our class file and execute our interpreted our instruction into the machine code line by line and printed the hello coders file that we have written here. Now let's see the use of this argument variable. So just don't worry what I am writing currently now. So it is basically an array. It passed the argument where the command line in the args folder. So if we type like this args of 0, so it will print the argument that we will pass into it. So I have changed the code, so I again need to compile it. So again I have compiled it, and now if I run java main dot, and here I will pass the argument like argument 1. So now can you guess the output? Now it will print the hello coders file and then this argument. So as you can see here, the argument is passed into our program. So this args is used to take the input from the command line. So as you can see from here, this argument is passed into this args. So this is the role of this argument. So I hope you understand this, our first Java program. You need to note only one key point, that the class, our file name must be equal to that of our class name. Here our class name is main.java, so our class name must be the main.java. If we rename it and save it to some other name, like let's see, come to our main.java file and let's change it to like here main is our class name, and let's rename this file to something else like m. And now let's try to compile it again. So it will show us the error. Why it will show us the error? Because our class name. Why it will show us the error? As you can see from here, our class name is the main, but our file name is not matching the class name. And if we now try to compile it, it will show us the error main.java. Now it will show us error. As you can see from here, oh sorry, because class java m.java. As you can see from here, it is showing us that a class main is public, should be declared in a file name main.java. As you can see from here, the public class main and this file name is not matching. That's why it's showing us the error. So what we need to do? So this problem can be solved by matching the file name with the class name. So like that we can solve this problem. And now if we try to run it, it will get compiled m.fly, and simply we can write here m and pass the argument here like arg1. So oh sorry, I have removed the argument, so it basically get executed. So you can see that the file name must match the class name in order to execute it. So this was all about our first Java program. Now let's move to, now let's see how JRE provide. Now let's see the role of the JDK and JRE in this, our first Java program. So we can see from here that this Java C is provided by our JDK, that is development tool. So let's see how JRE provide the runtime environment for executing our code. So let's see how JRE actually provide the runtime environment in order to execute our code. As we have seen earlier in this video, like JRE provide the runtime environment in order to execute our program. So let's see how JRE provide the runtime environment. So let's see. So when we type, so here when we type java m, so with the help of Java C compiler, we have compiled our main.java file into main.class file. So after compiling, when we type java M. So what happened internally? So basically the JVM start the execution and JVM load our dot class file. So what does JVM does? JVM loads our dot class file and start reading the bytecode instruction, because dot class file contain the bytecode instruction. So JVM start reading the bytecode instruction. Now JVM, what is the role of the JRE? JRE means what is the role of this library set. So JVM start reading the instruction, like here is our bytecode instruction of the code, and JVM start reading the bytecode instruction. So when the JVM sees the instruction like this, System.out.println, and now JVM will see the instruction like System.out.println, but JVM itself does not know about the system or what the println or system is, because the role of the JVM is to convert the machine code instruction, because the role of the JVM is to convert the bytecode instruction to the machine code instruction, but the JVM itself does not know about the system, what is the system or the println is. So here comes the part of the JRE. Here the JRE libraries help. What does JRE do? JRE, we can see that JRE contains the standard library set. So what does JRE provide? JRE provides java.lang.system class, and it provides this class, and the JVM load this system class from the libraries and find the out object as System.out. Find the out object and find the println method, and final execution JVM convert the instruction to the machine code, and output is get printed on the console. So from here you can see that how does the JVM along with the library set provide the Java runtime environment, and how does the development tool help us to compile our Java code into the class file, and this class file is get executed by our JRE. So as a whole, the whole JDK is used to build it is used to compile and run our Java applications. I hope you get it. Now one problem, now you are noticing that like we have to write our code in the code editor, compile it using the command line in the another window, and then compile it and then run it. So this is like a scattered, all the tools are scattered, like we code in the notepad, we compile the code using the command line. Now it is not at the one place. So in order to solve this problem, the IDE was developed. So what is IDE? So IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So what is IDE? IDE is a software that helps us write, run and manage code easily. So IDE is nothing, it is a software that helps us to write, run and manage code easily. So it provides, so what does the IDE provide? It provides the code editor where we can write our code. In the same window, it provides the compiler integration, and we can simply compile our code using by clicking the one button. And then it also provides the debugging codes, like if some error occur in the code, then it helps us to find the bug in the code, and it makes the project management easy. So what is the IDE? IDE is a software that helps us to write, run and manage the code easily. So we can think of IDE as a all tool in one place for coding. So IDE is like a one all tool in one place for coding. So now you will be thinking, why do we need IDE? So without IDE, as we can see, we write the code in the editor, we compile the code manually. As you can see here, we are compiling the code manually using the JavaC, and then run our code manually. So this is, and then if some error occur, then it is very hard to debug the code. So it is a very time consuming and error prone process. But with the help of IDE, what does IDE do? We can simply run our program using one click. It also provides the autocomplete feature, like it can autocomplete our statement, and if some error occur in the code, it highlight our error in the code, and it makes the debugging very easily. So what does IDE do? So IDE makes the development very fast and easy. So let's see some of the major popular IDEs for the Java. So for Java, there are some of the popular IDEs available in the market. So first one is the IntelliJ IDEA, second was the Eclipse, and third one is the VS Code. But for the sake of this course, we will be using the IntelliJ IDEA in our course. So we will use the IntelliJ IDEA. So it is a powerful IDEA for Java development developed by the JetBrains. So let's download it let's download it. So how we can download it? We can download it by simply going to this website or simply writing open web browser and simply type here download IntelliJ IDEA and go on the first link. Now you can download it, accept all cookies, and you can download it from here. Earlier there used to be two different versions. One was the community edition and another one is the ultimate edition. But now both of them are integrated into single product IntelliJ IDEA. So earlier community edition was the free and the open source that can be used by anyone, and ultimate was the paid one. But now both are combined into one, and the community edition is still free one, but if you want to upgrade to the ultimate version, you need to pay something. So we don't need the advanced feature, so we will be using the community edition. So simply click on here and click the download. So it started the downloading process. So wait, it is of 1 GB, so it will take some time. So once it get downloaded, we need to install it. So let waits for the download to complete. As you can see that it gets the IntelliJ IDEA gets downloaded. So click on the folder and simply double click on it. So simply click on yes, and it open the installation wizard. So simply click on next, and click on the create desktop setup. It will create the desktop setup shortcut, and simply click on next, install. So it will start installing it. So it will take some time depending upon your PC configuration. Now the IntelliJ IDEA gets installed, and simply click on the finish. So here you can see that the installation of the IntelliJ IDEA is complete. So simply double click on it. So it will open the IntelliJ IDEA, and simply click on I confirm and click on the continue, and select a preference, click on allow, cancel. So it will open the IntelliJ IDEA home screen, and simply now we need to start our Java project. So simply click on the new project, and since it is a Java project, and simply name it like first Java program, and select your location where you want to store it. So let's say we want to store it, select any location. So I will store it here, and simply click select, and build system IntelliJ rest remains same, and simply since from here it detected our JDK that we have installed earlier, and simply click on the create. So it will open the this is the project structure of the IntelliJ IDEA IDE. So it will open. So first let's clear all this that is written from earlier here. It is the breakpoint. Click here and it will remove the breakpoint, and this is the home screen of the IntelliJ IDEA. So let's study the project structure of our IntelliJ IDEA. So here in the left hand side you can see the project explorer window, and all our source code will go into this src folder. So let's say we have created a System.out.println and simply print here like hello coders file. Now in order to run it, with earlier we need to go save it and then go to and then manually compile it, but in this we simply, here is the run button, simply click on it and it will first compile it and then run it for us. And you can see here it simply compiled it and run it for us. So thus it makes our task easier. And here, where does the compiled class goes? So here is the compiled class, main.class. Here is our compiled program exist. So as you can see it, the idea with the ID we can do the one click run, autocomplete, error highlighting and easy debugging. So for example, let's say we done some error in our code like like this. Now it will highlight the error. As you can see, it highlight the error for us. So it is the advantage of using the IDE for our program. Like all our compiled classes go into this out folder, and you can see it is our compiled class. Click on the accept, and here you can see that source code comes from a .class file, and it is decompiled .class file bytecode version this. So it is .class file, and all our source code goes into this source folder. So as you can see from here, the IDE make our job very easy. With the help of one click we can run our code. We don't need to manually compile it and then run it. So this is the advantage of using the IDE. And so in the future videos we will be using the IDE only. So we have successfully installed the IDE and do the setup for us. So we have successfully set up our IDE and set up it, and we have also understand the project structure of the IDE. So this was it for the today's video. Now so let's revise what we have studied in this today's video. So first we started our discussion with the difference between what is the JVM, what is JRE, and what is the JDK. Then we have learned about how we can install the JDK and set it up, and while installing it we have seen the significance of the environment variable, like why there is a need of environment variable and what is use of it. Then we have written our first Java program and see the structure of the Java program and understand that the Java is fully object oriented programming. All the code must be written inside the class. And then we have seen how we can compile this our first Java program using the JavaC compiler and then run it with the help of Java. Then we have seen that without the IDE we need to write the code in the code editor. Then we have to manually compile it and then manually run it. Then we see the need of the IDE, and then we downloaded the IntelliJ IDEA and see how we can run the code using the IntelliJ IDEA. And we have also seen the project structure of the IntelliJ IDEA. So this was it for all this thing we have learned in this today's video. So what you need to do now, so if you first you need, if you want to download the notes of this video, go to our website codersfile.com and you can download the notes from here. And after that you should also, there will be one quiz corresponding to this video on our website. You should take that quiz. It will further enhance your knowledge and the skill related to the Java. And then finally there will be one lab corresponding to this video in order to enhance your practical skill. So you should attempt that. So let me show it practical to you how you can get the notes of today's video. So simply go to the codersfile.com and simply currently we are studying Java, so click on the Java, and from here click on the Java basics, and here in the Java architecture, you can see that it was of our previous video like that. Currently it is not updating. You will be getting the notes and the YouTube video link in this how Java runs, but currently, and you can download the notes from here like that. It will, you can get the note from the website like this, and you can see the videos from here, and you can attempt the quiz from here like that, simply clicking on it and simply start the quiz. So it will start the quiz for you. So after this video I will attach the link to the videos as well as notes and as well as quiz to practice and the lab corresponding to this, and you can also see the roadmap of what we are going to learn in this course, Java to 0 to Infinity course, from here. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you.